You see that disaster back there? That's me over a decade ago mistaking a kettlebell swing for a squat pattern, even though it's actually a hinge pattern. Which, had I known, would have saved me a lot of frustration when learning this exercise. And that's why in today's video, I'll be helping you avoid these mistakes so we can get you on the fast track to the perfect kettlebell swing. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll even share the most common kettlebell swing mistake I've seen made over the past decade plus of coaching. And my favorite drill that you can instantly start using to avoid and even correct this mistake so you can achieve kettlebell swing perfection. With that said, let's dive in. First things first, your kettlebell swing is only as good as your setup. Too far away and we aren't in a strong enough position to build the momentum we need for a good first swing. Too close to the bell and we don't have enough runway to build adequate momentum. So to make sure you get a perfect setup for a solid first swing every time, simply take the big toe of one foot to the body of the kettlebell. Then take the big toe of the second foot to the heel of the first foot. Widen your stance just outside shoulder width. Then hinge at the hips so your hips split the difference between your shoulders and your knees. And most importantly, keep a flat back. Oh, and don't forget to tilt the kettlebell handle so it looks like an extension of your wrist. And just like that, you have a perfect setup. Now all you need to do is hike the kettlebell like you're shoving it up your ass. And stand aggressively with your legs like you're jumping with your feet glued to the ground. When done correctly, your arms stay relaxed because your legs are doing the vast majority of the work. If your shoulders feel fatigued, you definitely need to use your legs more. Now, with the upward phase of the swing addressed, there's still one common mistake I see that can completely throw your timing off on your very first rep or any rep thereafter. We refer to this mistake as the kettlebell whip. That's that jerking motion you experience when the kettlebell flaccidly flops on your return from the backswing. This often occurs from prematurely extending your hips before the kettlebell settles in the backswing, or from having too loose of a grip. And either of these can make your wrist flex, cause the kettlebell to pivot in your hand, thus causing the jerking motion. And if you're not careful about correcting this, the kettlebell just might smooch your gooch, which is a rather unpleasant experience. The solution? Get a little deeper in the hinge by sitting your hips further back and chest further forward to give the kettlebell adequate time to settle. And make sure to squeeze the handle firmly, kind of like an aggressive handshaker. And with the whip corrected, your kettlebell swing timing will be perfect. That is, if you avoid the most common kettlebell swing mistake I have seen over my decade-plus coaching career. You see, when people first start learning the kettlebell swing, they often spend so much time mastering the explosive up phase of the movement that they neglect the downward phase, which is why so many people struggle with our third and final tip, which is to master connection, which is a term we use to refer to the connection between our forearm and hip on the downward phase of the kettlebell swing. What often happens is people will send their hips back before their forearms make contact with their hips, which not only reduces the amount of power we generate from our hips, but also puts a ton of unnecessary stress on our lower back because our hands are more likely to drop below our knees. So if you really want to master the kettlebell swing, it's wise to practice something known as the dead stop swing, which is a swing variation that allows us to reset from the ground every time. That way we can practice the ideal lowering phase of the swing, which looks like this. The forearms make contact with the hips before you send your hips back, and hands stay above the knees on the backswing, which maximizes the power output of each and every kettlebell swing. And in roughly 2 minutes, you are now armed with the knowledge to execute the perfect swing. But if you really want to see some of the more advanced kettlebell exercises that the kettlebell swing unlocks, check out this video here to learn how to perfectly execute the kettlebell snatch and rapidly expand beyond the base of the kettlebell. I'll see you there.